Have you ever noticed how a single copper penny in your pocket could potentially be worth a small fortune? That unassuming 1975 Lincoln cent might just be the needle in the haystack that collectors have spent decades searching for. Today, we're examining one of numismatics' most fascinating anomalies that continues to captivate both seasoned collectors and casual coin enthusiasts alike. The 1975 No S proof, Roosevelt, dime emerged during a tumultuous period in American history. The mid 70s saw the nation recovering from the Watergate scandal, dealing with economic inflation, and adjusting to life after Vietnam. Meanwhile, at the San Francisco Mint, a remarkable error was taking place that would create one of the most valuable modern American coins. Normally, proof coins struck at the San Francisco Mint proudly display an S mint mark. These special coins are produced with polished dies on burnished blanks, creating mirror-like fields and frosted raised elements. They're specifically made for collectors rather than general circulation. But in 1975, something extraordinary happened. A small batch of Roosevelt dimes left the San Francisco facility without their identifying S mint mark. What makes this coin truly special is just how rare it is. While most mint errors might see hundreds or even thousands of examples escape into circulation, the 1975 No S proof dime is confirmed to exist in just two known examples. Yes, you heard that correctly. Only two have ever been authenticated and documented by the numismatic community. This makes it one of the rarest modern U.S. coins in existence, far surpassing the famous 1909 SVB Lincoln cent or even the 1916 D Mercury dime in terms of scarcity. The first example was discovered in 1977 when a collector was examining proof sets they had purchased directly from the U.S. Mint. Imagine their shock when they noticed this significant deviation from what should have been there. The second example wasn't found until years later, confirming that this wasn't just a one-off mistake, but rather a tiny production run that somehow made it past quality control. Looking at the coin itself, identifying this rare variety requires careful examination. Obviously, the absence of the S mint mark below the date is the key indicator, but genuine examples also exhibit the mirror-like proof finish that distinguishes them from regular circulation strikes. The coin has sharp, well-defined details on Roosevelt's profile, and the torch, olive branch, and oak elements on the reverse are crisply struck. The market value of this numismatic treasure is simply staggering. The last public sale of a 1975 No S proof dime occurred in 2019 when one example sold for just over $456,000 at auction. Experts now estimate its value approaching $800,000 in today's market, depending on condition. This makes it worth more than its weight in gold. About 800,000 times more, to be precise. The story behind how these errors occurred remains somewhat mysterious. The most plausible explanation is that in the process of preparing new dies, a mint worker either forgot to punch the mint mark or used circulation strike dies, which were made at Philadelphia and didn't require mint marks at that time, instead of properly prepared proof dies. What's particularly interesting is that this mistake had happened before in 1968, 1970, and 1971 with proof dimes and in 1971 with proof nickels, but never with such a limited number of examples escaping into the public. Condition is particularly important with this coin. Being a proof specimen, it was never meant for circulation, so any legitimate example should display nearly perfect preservation. Numismatists grade these on the Sheldon scale, and examples would typically rate at least PR 67 or higher. Even the slightest imperfection or sign of mishandling can significantly impact its value, potentially reducing it by tens of thousands of dollars. There's a fascinating human element to this coin story as well. The first discovered example was found by a dedicated collector who didn't realize its significance immediately. Only after consulting reference materials did they understand what they had found. That collector chose to remain anonymous for years due to the coin's immense value, creating an air of mystery around this numismatic legend. So next time you're going through old proof sets or examining a collection that's been passed down, look carefully at those 1975 dimes. While The odds are astronomically against finding the third known example. Remember that these coins did leave the mint and enter the collecting community. Sometimes the most valuable treasures are hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with a keen eye and a bit of numismatic knowledge to discover them.